I lost over $800,000 gambling and my family doesn't know. Lost $100,000 in 4 weeks, November 17, 2021. I'm 36, not in debt except for a mortgage, and I have an 8-month-old daughter. I've been gambling since college and now face over $300,000 in losses, $100,000 of which occurred in the last 4 weeks. Each attempt to recover losses only increased my debt. My wife is unaware of the situation. The lost money includes $100,000 gifted by my dad, who is strongly against wasteful spending. I feel immense shame and regret, especially towards my father, who worked hard for that money. I'm considering gambling again to recoup the losses, but the potential impact on my wife and the inevitable difficult conversation looms over me. The loss of such a significant amount is hard to hide, and I'm struggling with depression and feelings of failure. The losses began with a $10,000 loss, escalating to $22,500, and then rapidly increased as I continued to gamble, losing $10-15K some days. What should I do? If I talk to my wife, it will be disastrous, and if my dad finds out, I fear for his reaction. Rock bottom, painful truth, December 24, 2021. In just 2 months, I've lost my entire bank balance, $170,000, and incurred $20,000 in gambling debts. It feels like the world is crumbling, with a mix of disbelief, shame, disgust, and suicidal thoughts. My wife is still unaware of my situation, and I constantly feel like I've ruined my daughter's future. Ignoring the advice to stop, I continued gambling. Now, my losses exceed $500,000, with $190,000 being very recent. The pain of these losses far outweighs the joy of any wins. Struggling and wrecked, January 5, 2022. My life is filled with depression. Playing with my daughter brings thoughts of the better future I could have provided her. My wife hasn't noticed the withdrawals that have been piling up for the last 2.5 months. The stress from my gambling debts is unbearable. The temporary closure of casinos is a relief, preventing a relapse. However, the thought of confessing to my wife about losing $200,000 is terrifying. The shame of my actions and the potential fallout with my family weigh heavily on me. Game over, $275,000 lost, February 13, 2022. In 4 months, I've lost $200,000 and accumulated $75,000 in debt. My family is unaware of this. The situation has affected my work performance and my personal appearance. The stress is visible. I plan to use a home equity line of credit, HELOC, to pay off the debts, refinance my home, tell my wife, get healthy, cut expenses, find a side job, and attend Gamblers Anonymous meetings. Self-excluded indefinitely, February 27, 2022. After a relapse, my losses have totaled $325,000. My family is unaware of the extent of my gambling. I've self-excluded from gambling indefinitely, but now I must face the daunting task of telling my wife the truth. Told the wife, April 12, 2022. I've told my wife about my gambling over the phone. She's understandably upset and unresponsive. I feel relieved to have shared the truth, but anxious about our future and the impact of my actions. Update on disclosure, April 14, 2022. The hardest part of my confession has been the loss of trust. Telling the truth has brought humiliation and regret, but also a sense of relief and the start of recovery. The journey to becoming a better person has begun. 135 days gamble-free, July 12, 2022. I've been gamble-free for 135 days. The journey has been filled with self-realization, confession, and immense stress, but it has been worth it. I'm slowly rebuilding trust and respect. Desperate for advice, January 24, 2023. Despite the ban, I relapsed and won $40,000, which I then lost along with an additional $30,000. I'm now in debt and can't tell anyone. My wife's discovery of this could lead to divorce. I'm desperate for advice on how to handle this situation. Rock bottom again, February 5, 2023. I've relapsed with a $40,000 debt and can't let anyone find out. The financial stress is unbearable. Seeking courage, March 6, 2023. I'm struggling to find the courage to tell my wife about my relapse. The guilt and stress are overwhelming. Relapse and debt, June 17, 2023. I've relapsed and now face $200,000 in debt. The situation is dire, and I can't face confessing again. Second confession, August 5, 2023. I've confessed to my wife again. The future is uncertain, but I had to come clean about my actions. Ruined everything, October 14, 2023. My wife is left with our child. I'm drowned in debt and have lost everything due to my gambling. I'm facing the consequences of my repeated mistakes. Restart at 40, October 15, 2023. I appreciate all the supportive comments. Coping with this situation is challenging, especially knowing I might default on payments. I've had many chances to recover but failed. Now, I'm overwhelmed by debt and facing the reality of my actions.